What if the most powerful moments in hockey had nothing to do with goals, hits, or trophies? Think about it. When a player gives up his own spotlight for someone else. When an entire arena goes silent instead of celebrating. When rivals forget the scoreboard and choose respect instead. That's the side of hockey most people don't see. These are the 15 most respectful moments in NHL history. 15. One puck, 3 tries, and a lesson in class. Have you ever seen a grown adult ruin a kid's hockey moment? Yeah, this got fixed. During warmups, a young fan kept losing pucks to adults over and over. You could see it on her face, just crushed. But Brett Connolly noticed. He didn't just toss one puck and move on. He kept trying. Twice, 3 times, and he didn't leave until she had one in her hands. That's hockey heart right there. Small gesture, lifelong memory. That small act of kindness showed what hockey is all about. But sometimes respect shows up in the middle of chaos. 14. The hit, the regret, and instant respect. What separates a tough player from a respected one? Wayne Simmonds delivered a brutal hit. One of those moments that could have turned ugly fast. The opponent barely walked away from it, but instead of skating off as if nothing happened, Simmonds immediately checked on him, clearly shaken by what he'd done. That instant apology said everything. In a sport built on physicality, it's not just how hard you play, it's how much you respect the guy across from you. And while some moments come from heavy hits, others come from the choices players make when nobody's watching. 13. A missed call, but not missed character. What if the refs miss it, but you don't ignore it? Late in a tight game, Jaromir Jagr caught Shea Weber with a high stick. The refs missed it completely. Play went on. Most players would take that break and move forward. Not Jagr. He skated over and apologized anyway. That's the kind of respect you don't coach, you earn. Because even when the refs miss it, true character always finds a way to show itself, just like in this next moment. 12. When a goal didn't matter more than respect. What happens when a game-changing moment suddenly doesn't feel like a win anymore? Jake Evans had just sealed it. Empty net, game over. But in that split second, everything flipped. A crushing hit from Mark Scheifele left him down on the ice, completely still. The goal didn't matter anymore. The noise faded. Players on both sides knew instantly this was bigger than hockey. But sometimes it's not about a single play. It's about realizing the game itself suddenly doesn't matter. 11. Winning didn't matter in that moment. What happens when victory instantly feels secondary? In overtime, with everything on the line, the Red Wings scored a beauty to win it. But in the same moment, goalie Eddie Lack went down hard after a nasty collision. The arena went from chaos to silence in seconds. And instead of celebrating, Detroit's players stayed. They waited, watching, hoping he was okay. That's when you realize some things matter more than the scoreboard. And while that moment showed heart in an instant, this next one proves what it means to show up every single night. 10. The Iron Man who never took a night off. How do you play 1,000 straight NHL games without breaking? Phil Kessel did exactly that. Through injuries, trades, and even a cancer battle, he showed up every single night. But when Vegas honored him, the quiet guy finally got his moment. Family beside him, crowd roaring. Turns out the toughest streak in hockey was about heart. But respect isn't always built on the ice. Sometimes it's built in what players do away from the spotlight. 9. The $10 million goodbye that fans never forgot. When PK Subban was dealt from Montreal, fans were furious. It felt like betrayal. But before he left, he quietly donated $10 million to the Montreal Children's Hospital, his own money. So when he came back wearing rival colors, 19,000 fans stood and stayed standing. You can trade the jersey, but you can't trade what someone means to a city. And from generosity off the ice, we move to a moment that shook the entire hockey world. 8. The record everyone thought would never fall. For decades, Wayne Gretzky's 894 goals felt impossible to reach. Then came Alex Ovechkin. On April 6, 2025, goal number 895 hit the net and time just froze. Fans, even opponents, were on their feet. Gretzky himself walked out to shake his hand. The entire sport paused to crown a new king. Because every once in a while, hockey gives us something bigger than records. A moment of pure, selfless respect. 7. The pass that defined respect forever. Sometimes, the greatest moment of your career isn't yours to take, it's yours to give away. Ray Bourque spent 21 seasons in Boston chasing one thing, the cup. It never came. At 40, he took one last shot with Colorado. When they finally won in 2001, Captain Joe Sakic had the cup first. But instead of lifting it, Sakic turned and handed it straight to Bourque. After 22 years, that moment was about a dream finally fulfilled. And if that was about giving someone their moment, this next one is about giving a legend the goodbye he deserved. 6. The King's goodbye at Madison Square Garden. What if a legend never got his final game, but still got the perfect goodbye? For 15 years, Henrik Lundqvist was the New York Rangers, but a heart condition forced him out before he could retire on his terms. So when Madison Square Garden raised his number 30, the emotions hit different. Walking those halls one last time, hearing the roar again, this was closure. The King finally got his goodbye, but not every farewell comes with a full career behind it. Some come far too soon. 5. When rivals united after tragedy. Sometimes, hockey stops being about teams and becomes about the world coming together. In 2015, after the tragic Paris attacks, the Ottawa Senators took the ice. But this wasn't just another game. Instead of the usual routine, the entire arena came together to sing the French national anthem. Players, fans, and even opponents stood as one. But even moments like this sometimes lead to something even more powerful, when words aren't enough and only silence for. A tribute that said everything without words. What do you even say when the loss is this heavy? In 2020, Colby Cave passed away at just 25 after a brain bleed. No words could really capture it. So before the next season, the Oilers and Bruins, his teams, stood together. And somehow that silence said everything. Respect, grief, brotherhood. At that moment, hockey was a family. But this next moment didn't just touch one arena. It brought the entire hockey community together. 3. When the entire hockey world stood still. What happens when tragedy hits beyond the NHL, but the whole sport feels it? The Humboldt Broncos were just kids chasing the dream. Then in 2018, a bus crash took 16 lives. The next night, NHL teams honored them. And months later, when the survivors reunited on stage, the entire room stood. Not out of routine, but out of respect. Because some moments are bigger than hockey. And just when you think it can't get more emotional, this next tribute takes it even further. 2. The empty spot that said everything. What's louder than a packed arena? Absolute silence. In 2024, Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew were tragically killed. When Columbus opened their season, they didn't go big with speeches or ceremonies. Instead, they left his spot empty at the opening faceoff. The puck dropped and sat untouched for 13 seconds his number. And somehow, that said more than anything ever could. Because after everything we've seen, there's only one way to close this list with a moment that perfectly captures the soul of hockey. 1. The final lap of a true legend. How do you say goodbye to someone who gave the game everything? Teemu Selanne took his final lap on NHL ice, named one of the game's stars one last time. The crowd knew that this was the end of an era, and waiting for him was an old friend, Jaromir Jagr. Together, they shared that final moment, as the entire arena stood and roared. The perfect ending to a legendary career. So, which moment hit you the hardest? And did we miss one that deserves to be here? Drop it in the comments. And hey, if you're not secretly a hockey referee who still missed that high stick, hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like if even one moment gave you chills. Up next, you've got two choices. Check out our deep dive into the scariest moments in NHL history, or roll with what YouTube thinks you'll love next.